Strawberry Fields, like that's kind of a pretty image. You think of
Yeah.
something like bright and beautiful and fun and happy, but then the song itself, as you're listening to it, you're kind of like, wait a sec,
Yeah.
something does not
It
feel.
gets dark and it gets like
Yeah.
ballsy, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It gets like, gritty and like something like I always looked at the Beatles as like Teletubbies where like all their music's like happy and poppy and you're dancing around, but this kind of seems like they're diving into something deeper.
It is time.
First, we're going to get into the Beatles. EJ, give it to me.
Another one. I bring another one, right?
You better.
Blast from the past. It's around the same time, 1967. How well do you guys know the Beatles? I know, Mike, you don't know anything about them. What about you, Adam? What about you?
Who are the Beatles? Like, edify me. Like, take me to school.
Same. No, never heard of them.
Yeah,
Never heard of
Lucy,
them, right?
did you grow up with
Oh,
the
it's
Beatles
cute.
when you were
It's
younger?
cute. It's like it's BAT. Like it's the beat.
Yeah.
That's
Get it?
cute.
Did it take all four of them to figure that
It's
out?
a little play on words.
Mike,
They were called the Silver Beatles before that, and they just went to the Beatles.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah. And the
my
Corn
dad
Men
loves the
before
Beatles. To answer
Oh,
your
yeah.
question, that's my experience with them. But yeah, I mean, I like the Beatles. Yeah,
that. Very cool.
for sure.
This is a song, Strawberry Fields Forever, originally released on one side of a double-A single, along with Penny Lane. Both singles were later included on the Magical Mystery Tour LP. Strawberry Field was a Salvation Army home in Liverpool where John Lennon used to go. He had fond memories of the place that inspired this title. He used to hang out there in like garden areas and have fun. Two versions were recorded with different instruments and spliced together to make this song, kind of the first time that was ever done.
That's cool.
Where Lennon's vocal wanders during Going To, and after that point, the second take is slowed down, which causes the vocal to have a more nasal sound, and you'll be able to hear that. The story goes that John Lennon couldn't decide on which of the two versions to release, so he left George Martin, who was their producer, with the instruction to try to put them together. He was flabbergasted, but because they were in different keys and different tempos, but he ended up being an experimentalist that he ended up making it happen, and this is the outcome. So why don't we check it out? It's a pretty cool video too. Strawberry Fields Forever, the Beatles here on Galaxy Jams Reacts.
That's cool. We learned something.
All about education.
Oh yeah.
Let me take you down, 'cause I'm going to Strawberry Fields. Nothing is real, and nothing to get hung about. Strawberry Fields forever. Living is easy with eyes closed. Misunderstanding all you see. It's getting hard to be someone, but it all works out. It doesn't matter much to me. Let me take you down, 'cause I'm going to Strawberry Fields. Nothing is real, and nothing to get hung about. Strawberry Fields forever. No one I think is in my tree. I mean, it
Backward
must be
stuff they got going on.
hollow. That is, you can't, tune in, but it's alright. That is, I think it's not too bad. Let me take you down, 'cause I'm going to Strawberry Fields. Nothing is real, and nothing to get hung about.
Like those horns.
Strawberry Fields forever. Always know, sometimes think it's me, but I know when it's a dream. I think I know, yes, but it's all wrong. That is, I think I disagree. Let me take you down, 'cause I'm going to strawberry fields. Nothing is real, nothing to get hung about. Strawberry fields forever.
Man, what a song. I feel like this is like the godfather of like psychedelic rock music.
Yeah.
know?
It kind of is, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I know that they recorded initially 2 different versions of the song and then kind of spliced them together. Do you have a little bit more to say about that, EJ?
That's just what they did. He just couldn't decide on both of those, and the production team there, along with George Martin, just learned how to do it. They figured it out. It hadn't been done before, and that was a lot of things with them, because you hear a lot of the backwards recording and stuff that they did. Right, you can hear it kind of zip in the background.
Yeah,
That
it
was kind
sounded
of the
like there was
first
like
time of that,
drums. It was like
Right.
drums that was like instead
those
of drums.
cymbals, backward cymbals and stuff like that, to the point where it made people try to listen to the record, started listening to record backwards to see if there were like hidden messages and stuff in there. Kind of started with that kind of stuff. So
Cool.
yeah.
Lucy, what did you think?
It definitely feels psychedelic. I totally get that just from watching the video. And that, of course, makes me think of Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. My name's Lucy, so I get that a lot.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, I didn't listen to the Beatles much growing up, but
Me neither.
it is
neither.
amazing, like the influence that they had on the generations to come. I think that I'm trying to figure out like what I think this song means, and maybe that's part of the message, like that sort of psychedelic.
It's on purpose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like again, I'm thinking of Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, where everyone has their theories about what it's about, and I think
Mhm.
maybe that's the answer, is that there is no answer. It just depends on like how you're viewing it, the state you're in when you're viewing it. Are you like drunk? Are you high? Are you watching it the day after? I guess it just changes meaning depending on who you are and how you're
Mhm.
coming at it.
Yeah. What did you think, Adam?
Like you, Lucy, I didn't listen to a lot of the Beatles growing up at all, and so I feel like the toddler in the high chair, like with my parent is feeding me and coming in like an airplane, and I'm getting my little spoon feeding of the Beatles on the show, and I feel like we're watching and reviewing and looking back on like real sonic scientists, like people
Mhm.
that are creating their own flavor of ice cream, their own Instagram filter for life. They're creating a whole new flavor of something that you're experiencing in real time. And when you look at how huge and what a powerful footprint on the cultural zeitgeist at the time that they had, and like the ripple effects that they still have, it's incredible how experimental they were, like in Frankensteining this song together into its own like beautiful entity, and still wildly commercially successful that they were. Like how many songs, even since sound like this? And I was, as we were listening, instead of trying to figure out what it meant, I was trying to figure out how it really made me feel. Parts of the song felt so eerie and displacing, and some felt like bright and chill and uplifting, and like I'm like, this is a new feeling for me, and I don't really know how I relate to it, and I'm like growing as I'm listening to the song, and I think that's a powerful testament to their artistry, in the sense that there really aren't anyone else there hasn't been anyone else since the Beatles that have really done what they do. Just maybe some poor impersonators or people that have kind of taken this direction into a whole new way, and it's really powerful to watch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I think that with the Beatles, they kind of were one of those bands that kind of started the whole, we're going to play what we want to play. We're going to
Yeah.
do whatever we want to do. Hey, we just went to India. I heard these instruments. Let's use them. Hey, we did this. Let's experiment. Let's do this. And they're the kind of ones that first did that, and kind of didn't have a certain genre that they fell into. They were just making up their own sound. I think there are some other artists that have done it since then. Ween is one of them.
Yeah.
Who they do whatever they want to do. They're a little bit more goofy in a way, but they can also be serious too. So I don't know. I think a lot of their lyrics and everything were written kind of like past experiences and kind of things where they kind of poetically talk about things like that. And I know like John Lennon kind of was doing the song talking about, that he used to see Strawberry Fields there, and like he had kind of a connection to the orphans that were around that area, and since he had kind of a sense of abandonment from his parents, like I think his mom was killed while crossing the street when he was like 17, and he kind of
terrible.
Yeah, he kind of felt
awful.
like there was something wrong with me, because he seemed to see other things other people didn't see, so he felt kind of alone.
Right.
So that's kind of where it kind of came around, kind of a more somber story behind the melody of the song, which is kind of upbeat, So
Yeah, I feel like the Strawberry Fields, like that's kind of a pretty image. You think of something like bright and beautiful and fun and happy, but then the song itself, as you're listening to it, you're kind of like, wait a sec, something does not feel.
It gets dark and it gets like ballsy, you know what I mean? It gets like, gritty and like something like, I always looked at the Beatles as like Teletubbies, where like all their music's like happy and poppy and you're dancing around, but this kind of seems like they're diving into something deeper.
Well, yeah,
it was just. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say. I mean, the '60s, obviously a crazy, tumultuous time. Vietnam was happening at the time, and in the States, civil rights movements, and in the UK, I should know more about my UK civil rights history. I don't know what year their civil rights movement was in, but it was a crazy, crazy decade. So I think that probably plays into it too.
Right.
Yeah, there's like a line in the song kind of gives you an idea of what he's thinking, and it's kind of one of those things where I guess you could say if you ever really kind of just sat down and had like deep thoughts, like he talks about like living is easy with eyes closed, misunderstanding all you see. What does he say? It's getting hard to be someone, but it all works out. It doesn't matter much to me, so screw it anyway. I don't know. It's life. That's kind of what it's about.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump back in.
Yeah.
Strawberry fields forever. Strawberry fields forever.
And that's it. Strawberry Fields Forever by the Beatles.
Boom.
Oh, yeah, it's got this part.
I love how they're all wearing like strawberry colors.
You got to think about what they were recording on, right? So they basically started recording on like 4-track and then 6-track and then 8-track when they were lucky.
Yeah.
So they kept mixing
did you
stuff
hear
down.
that weird voice at the end?
Mm-hmm.
I bet like so many people listen to that over and over to try and figure out what it is. And
Oh, yeah.
it kind of felt like I was like initiated into a cult.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I felt. I was like, is this happy or sad, or did I just get like hypnotizzed?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's that
Yeah.
Large Hadron Collider of feelings.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that being where you're in a beautiful place and being forced to confront really dark realities. And damn, we just went right through it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you got to think like the other song is on the other side of the single when it first came out. It's Penny Lane, completely different type of song.
Yeah.
It's like I'm walking down the street in Penny Lane. It's just kind of what what they're seeing, and it's like all happy and kind of, I don't know. That's the one thing I loved about the Beatles back in the day when I was first listening to them, was just the fact that they showed me that you could, if you just kind of write what you want to write, it's fine. You don't have to say I'm this kind of an artist and I'm writing this type of music.
And it sucks because, the way the industry is now, it's so important, when you're pitching to labels and things. Well, that was more so, 10, 15
Right.
years ago. But, they want your 1-minute elevator pitch of, I need to know what bucket to put you in. And we've had this discussion on the show too with like playlisting on Spotify and you're pitching to playlisters and trying to get your music associated with other larger artists, like that. They need to know like your 1 minute elevator pitch of who you are, and so you can't really be that experimental. It's like, I'm sorry, you're too rock for my pop album, or you're too pop for my electronic album, or you're not electronic enough, and it really waters down artistry for a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
Great
Absolutely.
point, Adam, and thank you so much for bringing that great song, EJ. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, no
awesome.
problem.
Thank you for that valuable insight.
Hi, this is Mike with Galaxy Jams Reacts. We hope that you enjoyed that React video. Be sure to check out the links below of when we're going to be live streaming our next show, and also how to watch full episodes. Please hit that subscribe button. Every single one helps.